Alam niyo yung feeling na you go into this house, sabihin natin it's a very minimal house, pero there's something about it, kahit wala siyang masyadong laman, there's something about it that makes it super nice. Parang hindi mo mapupoint to exactly what makes it nice, pero kahit super simple lang, ang ganda pa rin. Ano, bakit ba kaya ganyan? And contrast that to a similar house na I'm sure you've had this experience din before, mafe-feel natin na pagpasok natin, there's something wrong. Super simple, super bare, but bare yung feeling. Parang may kulang, may something missing. You can feel this in whenever you go to like mga cheap hotels. Parang, bakit may something na that doesn't make me feel as comfortable? Although all of this is subconscious, there are reasons kung bakit nagkaganito yung feeling natin when it comes to the spaces. And it all comes down to the little details. And this is exactly what we're going to talk about today. The little details that make your home level up. Konting disclaimer, guys. Once I tell you all these details, you will never be able to unsee it. You will look for things in your home na, oh, ganito ba din sa amin? Si Chris, I told her all about these details, and whenever she enters a home, sasabihin niya sa akin, alam ko na kung bakit hindi ko masyadong type yung bahay na yun. Because this. So, once I tell you this, no more unseeing it. For example, this one. This is a corner that is very, very sharp and straight. And this is one of the main mistakes or details that gets missed. So, imagine if this were a little bit wavy or hindi siya as sharp, parang may curve siya ng konti na hindi sinadya. So, yung effect sa bahay is very, very much different. It's going to feel as if parang hindi siya inalagaan pagkagawa. The corners and the straightness of anything that should be straight are very, very important. So, that's the very first detail, guys. All the things that should be straight. Because tayo as human beings, alam natin agad na something is amiss pag may konting tabingi, even subconsciously. So that means all your columns should be straight. Itong mga I-beams namin, I made sure talaga that it should always be straight. Not only that, pati yung mga termination ng mga dito, that should be straight. Pati yung dito, yung kilikili ng mga corners should also be straight. As well as yung mga kitchen counters, sink, ng mga areas, ng mga cutouts should always be perfectly straight. Hindi pwede yung pa-wavy-wavy. Alright, our second tip actually involves this door. Now, if I'm standing right here, hindi klaro sa camera, but if I stand closer, hopefully, makikita nyo that this is not an ordinary door. This is actually over height ng konti and over wide ng konti. And that makes a very, very big difference. The house seems a lot more classier just by adding 1 foot more to the height and maybe 8 inches more to the width. This is actually a tip that I got from my father. Sabi niya, it should be wide because you're bringing in sofa and big furniture, especially when it comes to the master bedroom. But the extra height just gives it a little bit more oomph. So ito yung ginamit namin na tip for all the bedrooms in our home as well as yung mga main entrances ng bahay. And for the CR doors, we just use the ordinary size doors. Okay, I'm not sure if klaro sa camera, but in real life, sobrang drastic ng difference of these two doors. This one is the oversized door and this is the normal door that leads to our bathroom. So, dito, I can reach it up top. And dito, hindi ko abot. And the biggest difference with that is that when you open the door, especially when it's going to the bedroom or into the house mismo, ang laki ng difference that you feel na malawak agad. It's not a bit like claustrophobic, kahit konti. So, yeah, that makes a very, very big difference. Okay, we're in our kitchen for a little story. This one was installed first and this one was installed a little bit later on. So itong kitchen counter na to, sobrang nag-away kami sa installer and supplier. And I told him, if you do that again, either I will not pay you or I will ask you to redo everything. And it may seem like a small detail, but it's a detail that matters. If you notice, yung grain dito, yung mga patterns niya, hindi dugtong, but on the other side, the marble looks like one whole piece. And that is because this is what they call grain matching. So, yung grain sa taas, tinupi, so that magmukha siyang continuous. So, this one looks super seamless and wala kang glue makikita. Dito, you can see the glue. Actually, makikita natin ngayon na it's kind of peeling off right now. And the grains here doesn't really go anywhere. So, it's like one piece and one piece instead of a one full monolithic piece yung itsura. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this one, especially because I'm paying the same for both, looks a lot better. Details do really matter. So I'm trying out this new Yoga 9i and sobrang ganda. Like meron siyang authentic leather sa top so wala siyang mga smudges. It's using awesome speakers. This is Dolby Atmos speaker system. Can convert into tablet. Meron din siyang stylus dito naka-hidden and I feel like it's very cleverly done. And it just has all the right details. But meron siyang isang detail na sobrang na-impress talaga ako and sobrang ganda. And that is the Intel Evo badge. This badge means that this laptop is based on the Intel Evo platform. Ano ba ibig sabihin nun? What does that really mean? Well, Intel Evo is our sponsor for today. And for me, a laptop that runs on the Intel Evo platform means that it's so much faster from editing photos to videos. And isang malaking detail na mapapansin natin when we're using the Intel Evo platform is that when we open it, diretso, it's waking up almost in an instant. And itong mga maliliit na detail that really matters talaga. It just makes the whole experience so much smoother and so much more streamlined. Ang ganda kasi ng badge na to because it works on any laptop. If it's operating on the Intel platform, it has all these things that I'm going to talk about. It has Wi-Fi 6. Wi-Fi 6 means that it has the fastest Wi-Fi connection available on the market. It's about 3 times faster than the typical Wi-Fi. And yung mga Thunderbolt connection niya are Thunderbolt 4. So meaning it's fast not only wirelessly but through wired connections. Ito rin yung pinakamabilis na connection available on the market. That's the Thunderbolt 4. And lastly, charging is super fast. A typical laptop, maybe sabihin natin 4 hours mag-charge. This one can do it in 30 minutes. Ganyan kalaki yung difference ng charging when you're using a laptop that's based on the Intel Evo platform. So next time you're in the market for a laptop, make sure it's operating on the Intel Evo platform. That just makes it sure that you have the best of the best. This next tip is one of my biggest regrets in this house because I tried to save a few thousand pesos and ngayon I wish I would have just spent it. It would have cost us 15,000 siguro on the entire home, I would say, just to buy proper tile levelers. These are parang plastic na nilalagay mo to make sure na walang lippage yung tile. Using this coin, makikita natin na masustuck siya kasi it's not perfectly level. So, aesthetic-wise, makikita mo na medyo wavy yung tile tingnan. And parang kulang lang siya ng care and attention. So, this is my biggest regret siguro, one of the. But I hope this tip makakatulong sa inyo para kayo hindi mag-regret. It's called a tile leveler. Make sure you use it. This next detail is a very important one, but posibleng halos hindi mo na makita. But when you see it, again, you cannot unsee it. It's all about transitions. When you're transitioning from a different element to another element, there is always an opportunity there to add a little bit of accent, a little bit more oomph. Mahilig ako sa oomph. Here in our case, this is our gym area. This is the flooring of our gym area. And this is the tile to our main house. And nilagyan namin ng mga accents like this para hindi abrupt yung pag-transition niya. So this is one example and I have a few more. This is another example, itong shadow gap na to. This is our door and then from the wall, the concrete type looking wall to the door jamb, may transition tayo because there's a switch in elements. So This adds just a little bit of an accent na napapaganda yung bahay. Actually, yung mga details na ganito was insisted by our architect. At first, I didn't believe na it would make a very big difference. But after seeing this applied into the entire home, I would say, very, very good job na she insisted on this. Especially because very minimal yung design namin. So these aspects really matter. We place this in our doors, we place this along the flooring namin when it transitions to the wall, as well as we place this sa mga ceilings namin. And guys, that extra attention to detail really does matter. So it's called the shadow gap because makikita natin na may konting shadow just to give a little bit of separation from the floor to the wall. Imagine this na dire-diretso lang and may mga dumi-dumi and may mga connection issues na hindi perfectly straight, again straight, makikita natin agad. In other homes, it's mga moldings na nilalagay, and for us na gusto namin minimal, this is a perfect way to go about it. Quick question for you guys. Which looks better? This one? Or what if palitan namin ng ganito? Di ba ang laki ng difference? And this is often overlooked. Siyempre, we want to save, and these are the cheaper type of outlets. But if you can afford it, try using those designer type outlets. This is the designer series from Omni, and I feel like it makes so much of a difference. Even yung mga switch nila are super tactile. The mga higher end switches and outlets really do make a difference, not just in the look, but in the feel of your home. Hindi siya squishy. Meron siyang mas click siya. Ang OC. Pero yeah, it really does make a difference. Ako lang ba? Or comment down below if a spongy click versus a very tactile click makes a difference to you. Ito guys, one more thing that's often overlooked is the shower drain or the floor drains in our home. And ito ginamit namin is a very sleek and architectural looking type of shower drain. It makes such a huge difference because imagine if ang ginamit lang namin is those stainless things na may butas. Nasisira yung aesthetic ng bahay. Yung all the effort, all the other effort, parang nasisira because of this. Now this isn't very expensive. It was, I think, 1,000, 2,000 pesos. So yan, that really makes a very, very big difference. Again, details. Okay, it's almost nighttime, but I really waited to show you guys this because this one small detail is very, very close to my heart. Kami ni Chris dati, when we were building this house, palagi niya sinasabi, oh, I want cool lighting. I want it really bright, white so that I can always work and always maliwanag yung area. And yung argument ko sa kanya was, it's very, very important to have warm lighting because it sets the mood. So check this out. This is white lighting. Not bad. Medyo okay naman siya. You can function well. It's fairly bright. But medyo plain yung itsura. Compare that to warm lighting. Di ba sobrang cozy siya? It invites you to go to sleep. Medyo it sets the mood na parang may jazz music playing. So, ito yung argument ko. And eventually, she agreed na, yeah, warm lighting does look a lot better than just having cool lighting. But my suggestion for you guys would be to have both, the warm and the cool, just in case kailangan nyo na sobrang liwanag when you're doing something important at night. And after you guys see all of these things, hindi nyo na makakalimutan. Alam nyo na kung bakit this room feels cozy and this room does not. Just as simple as this room, not really, but this room, a little bit more cozy, di ba? And you can't unsee it na. That's it for me, guys. I hope you liked this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.